Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for May 2022. First, we're going to look at the numerology and energy for the collective, which we are all a part of. And then we're going to break it down into the individual life path forecast. So before I get started, of course, this is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. So in the Northern Hemisphere, May brings flowers, springtime, and 11-2 energy this year. So when we have master level energy in a cycle, we may notice the challenges or obstacles to be a bit more pronounced, but the same can be said of the rewards of this cycle. So think of it like taking an accelerated master's level course. We'll have to put in the effort, but the satisfaction will be worth it. Similar to a 2 cycle, you may notice your experience sort of hasten, and this can help to push us to be much more decisive within our actions and our personal circumstances. Sudden events can occur now that require us to quickly go within, follow our instincts or our intuition, and take the reins within our own experience when we're deciding next steps. So, in doing so, we alleviate the tendency for being influenced by others during this time because there's a sense of urgency present that doesn't support calling multiple friends, weighing the options, reviewing pros and cons. No, you already know what to do. And this energy is assisting you in trusting yourself and the cues of your body and your own inner knowing. So don't miss an opportunity because you don't trust yourself enough to make a decision. This energy can feel almost hectic and exciting, and it can create a tendency for impulsivity. So this is fine if, of course, if it feels right to you and if you're following your own intuition. However, be aware of feeling like you have the need to sort of make a knee-jerk commitment at this time, simply to, rush through the process to get to the conclusion. If it feels aligned, great. But if it feels sort of cloudy and you're not quite sure, and you're still making haste simply to get to the end goal, then you may wish at a later time that you had taken more time. So be patient, be tolerant, and be decisive. All of that will yield positive results during an 11-2 cycle. Legal dealings can come up now to be worked through as well. So financial settlements are possible, such as inheritance or lawsuits of some sort being finalized. Contractual agreements, partnerships can also come to the forefront. And this, of course, includes marriage, divorce, adoption, buying or selling a home, property, or material goods. This 11-2 energy is also beautiful energy for investing time and resources into learning something new or furthering your education in some way. So signing up for a course, going back to school, attending a workshop of some sort or a retreat, as well as traveling to new places and fully immersing yourself within a different culture. All of this is supported under this beautiful 11-2 energy. Throughout May, we could find that we are more sensitive, and this can be a phenomenal time for enhancing our intuitive and psychic abilities. So this can be a very creative, inspirational period. So pay attention to any insights, dreams, and ideas that come flooding in at this time. So chances are, even if you don't take action on these new ideas, these inspirations, you'll see them resurface in some way again, if they're meant to, right? So at this stage, simply write them down and feel into how you want to work with them. Some you may release, and others you may feel compelled to create something much more tangible. This can be a very exciting cycle for this sort of process. So as mentioned, with any master energy comes master level tests and challenges to figure out and to overcome in order to extract the wisdom needed to move forward. So you may see exciting, big, new ideas emerge at this time, but those big new ideas may be coupled with just as big of challenges to overcome in order to achieve whatever this new goal is. So remember, challenges don't always indicate that something isn't meant for us. Sometimes those challenges are actually allies in assisting us to master whatever it is that we're attempting to achieve. So very infrequently is it true that mastering comes easily. It takes effort, persistence, skill, time, trial and error, all of these things, right? So this is going to be a period to keep moving forward despite the challenges to achieve whatever it is that you're working towards. That is, if it still calls to you. So if there is still fire behind you with whatever this is, then go for it. Keep going. You can overcome whatever challenges surface, and ultimately you're meant to extract the wisdom from those challenges. They're not meant to deter you necessarily or throw you off course. Now, of course, if you're still pursuing an old dream that's no longer your dream, but somebody else's, and your intent and motivation is sort of all about ego over true inspiration and desire, then you may continue to feel sort of out of alignment with this goal, and the challenges will become so great that you're only left feeling defeated versus inspired. So there is a difference. This 11-2 energy will assist us in recognizing sort of where we land with that. And, as we move through this journey, whether the goal is still truly ours or whether it's time to be released for a new one to enter. Big energy for May. And again, it's always what we choose to do with this energy that ultimately makes the difference. So when we're working with master level energy, we can anticipate that there will be master level challenges, but again, it's just assisting us in mastering the energy. So let's move on to the individual life path numbers. A life path 33-6. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all for May, and you got octopus energy. And so what immediately came to mind with this is, with the octopus, was, how when octopi, when they are in danger or they need to make a quick escape or they feel threatened, they will release their ink. And it creates sort of a distraction, so that gives them the time, obviously, to get away from their predator. What this brings up for you all for May is sort of like this energy of there's something around like illusions or distractions that are keeping you from fully seeing the full picture or what's really happening. So this could be like you creating distractions to keep other people out from the reality of whatever's happening. Or this could be like maybe things just seem a little bit off to you around a circumstance, around a person, whatever. And it's like you're not seeing the full picture because of the distraction that they're creating to sort of keep you distracted from seeing the reality of the situation. So I'm not necessarily saying that there's deception going on, but it does feel like there's more sort of happening behind the scenes. And it's almost like they, whoever this is or whoever these people are, again, are like creating a distraction to keep you preoccupied from knowing the full story. So what I would say to this is, just be really, again, I come back to following your intuition. It's not only those, like when it's making decisions and that sort of thing that we really do best when we can follow our internal guidance, but it's also when we're relating with people, right? Like when we have these relations with others, really reading the room or reading the person and just the feeling that we get. Like, that feeling when you walk into a room and the energy just feels really low, or you just get a bad feeling. if you get that around somebody or an exchange or an experience, I would say pay attention to that this month especially. And again, I'm not saying that whoever this is doing this, out of malice or whatever. But I do think that there's something here. And again, it could be around a circumstance. It could be around, I would say also like legal proceedings. If there's any kind of contract, legal document that you have to sign this month, to really pay attention to the fine print. Read it again, and then, have somebody else read it also so that they can really help you with that. Because I just get this feeling with octopus energy coming in, because I was just immediately drawn to like the ink. There's something here that's creating an illusion, that's creating a distraction from the reality. Now that can also be you creating, again, some kind of distraction to distract yourself from the reality of a situation so that you don't have to deal with it. And if that's the case, then I think this month you're going to be asked to really face up to whatever it is that you've been sort of avoiding. So if there's been any kind of like avoidance energy that you've been creating, I do think that it's going to be coming in pretty strongly this month to, face the music and deal with whatever this is so that you can move beyond it. So I would just say definitely pay attention to if there's any kind of contracts or anything like that that you need to sign that are going to be long-term or could have long-term repercussions, that are like high stake buy-ins, then I would say take your time with it. Be very thorough in reading the fine print, really investigating whatever this is to make sure that you are committing to something that you actually want to be committing to long-term, and that will not have repercussions. Now, again, sometimes we just have to take a leap of faith and just follow through and do whatever it is and face the consequences later. But if you have the opportunity or you're able to investigate things a little bit further, also following your intuition and that inner guidance, I would say do that, because there's definitely something here coming up about these distractions, whatever this is. So hopefully that's helpful, but just keep your eyes open, your eyes and ears open. Okay. So looking at the month ahead for you all, beginning of the month, there's something here about financial security. So being like financially independent or having like independent wealth, being able to do things sort of on your own. So if you were sort of interdependent or codependent, let's say codependent. If you're codependent on another for your security or your resources or whatever, this is an opportunity where you could step out onto your own 2 feet and feel really secure and stable in that. So that's beautiful energy as well. This could be through earned income. This could be through some kind of settlement. This could be through like an inheritance or something like that. You may see octopus energy come in around the beginning of the month. Maybe you get some kind of inheritance and there are people who are out to take their fair share, even though it's not their fair share type thing. And so they try to create distractions or loopholes to be able to have access to what isn't rightfully theirs. Not saying that's going to come up, but there is this energy around, again, almost like just like illusions, like things not being exactly as they appear, and you need to dig a little bit deeper and really follow your instincts. But definitely something beginning of the month for the potentiality of something coming in for you that creates some kind of financial security. This does feel like it does have an energy around it, for something coming to fruition that you've been working towards. So if it's not an inheritance and it is like earned income or something like that, then, and it's something coming to fruition that you've put forth the effort, that's very, very possible. I do think that there's the possibility of that coming to light this month. This does feel like it was a slow moving energy. That's why I feel like it's something you've been really working towards for a long period of time. So if it's not some kind of like inheritance or something like that, it could very well be a settlement, because again, we're in 11-2 energy collectively in May, which really kind of governs that kind of energy of like settlements. So again, divorces. It could also be like getting married or something like that, where again, it's some kind of contract that creates that financial stability. But there's also this sense of like independence around this as well. So it could be some kind of also like maybe some kind of settlement that comes to fruition, that comes to closure, that you've been working on a long time. And so that you find closure there. But anyway, I do feel like it works out in your favor, even if that's just to, like I said, have your independence back, whatever that looks like for you. Middle of the month, this is interesting. I do feel like there's something here for some of you where there's some kind of new endeavor. Maybe it's a new relationship, a new job, something like that you are really excited to start. But it's turning out that it's not exactly as you had anticipated it would be. It's not exactly living up to the potential. Maybe there's some issues that you didn't have the foresight on, and so you didn't realize that there would be issues or whatever. There's just something here around something you were maybe excited about, and it could have just been like something like, I don't know, like you were going to go to a show or something, and then you were really disappointed about it or whatever because it didn't meet the expectation, right? It could be something as trivial as that. For some of you, it's going to be maybe a relationship that you were just getting off the ground, and it's just not working out, and you're just realizing that it's not the direction you want to be moving into. Same thing with a job or something like that. But anyway, it's something about a new adventure, right? Like a new journey, but it's just not living up to the potential and just not being very fulfilling. And so you just need to take a closer look at the reality of that. And is it something that you want to continue to pursue? Based on this energy, I don't see you necessarily continuing to pursue it, or at least I don't see it lasting long term. This looks like something that needed to happen, like needed to start to show you something, right? To like teach you something, but it's sort of done now. It's complete type thing. So there is a little bit of, I don't want to say regret or remorse, but there is kind of, just sort of this more like just being upset about it not working out type thing, right? So obviously grieve that, move through those emotions, those feelings, and then, transmute that energy and move on once you've come to, once you've come to terms with whatever this is ending. Okay, and then what's interesting is the end of the month, there's actually like this, it's almost like whatever happens mid-month kind of has to happen to almost force you to think bigger. It's almost like whatever this was that is just not going to be working out, it's almost like you were settling. Maybe it's like you weren't in a relationship for a long period of time, and then somebody came along that was that sort of matched what you were looking for type thing, or you sort of felt a connection, but it was almost like you were forcing it to work because you were just excited about, being in a companionship or something again. So it's almost like whatever this energy is mid-month, there's some kind of like, maybe it was like overly impulsive, or again, some kind of like settling energy, right? And then at the end of the month, it's like you're being shown what you actually have been moving towards. So it's just this energy of sort of asking you to think bigger, to not minimize your worth, or to lower your expectations or whatever, to accommodate this other person or experience, but to think bigger and to sort of create a bigger vision of what it is that you want and what you're capable of and whatever, right? There's definitely this energy of moving you towards something much more in alignment that is much bigger than you could have anticipated, and will bring you a tremendous amount of more joy, that sort of thing. So it's almost like whatever this was that you were sort of entangled with or working with mid-month was the distraction, and it's been distracting you from this much bigger opportunity, whatever that is. So interesting energies here for 33s this month. But I would definitely say pay attention to any of the distractions, and if there's something that has to fall away mid-month, or again, sort of like whatever it is just doesn't meet your expectations, and so you feel a little bit deflated or let down or whatever, just know that it's like that was not that was a short-term experience that you were meant to move through, but what's waiting for you is so much bigger, because I just keep seeing the words think bigger. So there's something much more enticing waiting for you around the bend. You just need to continue to move towards it, type thing. And be very mindful again of like the distractions trying to keep you from this much bigger, much more aligned, whatever it is, whether again it's the job or whatever. So interesting energies for 33s this month. So I would just say, move through whatever you need to move through emotionally mid-month. If there is something that again just has you feeling down because it didn't work out, or it's just, again, you can see the writing on the wall type thing around whatever it is, just know that you're being ushered in, towards something that's much, much bigger. And that's going to be much more aligned for your journey and for this next experience. Okay, so I hope this was helpful, 33s. I hope May is a beautiful month for you all. I think it's going to be an interesting month. But, like I said, this energy at the end of the month is incredibly beautiful. It can feel a little overwhelming because it does feel very big. It feels very big. And so there might be a little bit of like that, like imposter syndrome or whatever that might come in, where you just don't feel worthy or whatever, But I just think that you're going to get at least a glimpse of what this larger than life thing is that you're moving towards. So you can, deal with any kind of self-defeating thoughts that come up around it so that you don't keep yourself from moving towards it. But interesting energy. So I hope it's a beautiful month for you all, 33s. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.